Hey, what is going on everybody? My name is Campbell and welcome to another Oddworld Soulstorm update video. In this one there is going to be lots of spoilers, so please progress at your own discretion. Basically what we're going to do in this video is go over all of the trophies that are on the PlayStation Network. So these are all official, these are definitely trophies that we're going to be able to unlock in the game. And there's a few of them that I'm really excited to go over. But again, spoilers, so if you don't want to ruin it for yourself, don't watch this video. But before we get into it, I do want to say that earlier today I was on the Oddworld Discord, and Oddworld Inhabitants' very own Ash, or Hack Attack, said that if COVID hadn't happened, it probably would have come out in November 2020, which is super awesome because if some of you may remember, about 9 months ago I made a video theorizing when Soulstorm was going to originally come out, and I guessed November. That's right, that's pretty cool. I specifically said about the 17th. I doubt there was ever a specific date they were thinking of. They were obviously just going for a month at that point in time. But if COVID hadn't happened, I would have been correct, which is super cool. Anyway, I just wanted to toot my own horn a little bit. Let's move on with the video. Okay, so the very first trophy that you see, of course, is the Platinum, which is the chosen one. You got every other trophy. Obviously, this is a very, generic trophy. Every single game has this. Let's get on to the other more important ones, shall we? Whose side are you on? Failed to liberate the Mudokons. So this is probably like once you get for completing the bad ending. I imagine there is one for rescuing them all. So if you get one for doing a bad job, you should get one for doing a really bad job. Captured the train. Captured a train and escaped from Trellis. I'm not sure if some of these trophies are in story order. Some games do have trophies popping up in sequence, so you pop them off in order as you play the game. So this might be an indication of what levels we should expect when, but I'm not too sure. Escaped the mines. Escaped the Necrum mines with the Flagon's Eye. Now this is very important because at no point have I ever heard of a Flagon's Eye. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure a flagon is a cup of which you serve alcoholic beverages in, specifically wine, I believe. And the only thing I can think of that's related to that is the Soulstorm brew. Obviously it's not an alcoholic beverage, but it is the only drink in the game that we hear of, so I'm thinking it might be having something to do with that. I'm also thinking, because it's an eye, it's the golden orb thing that Abe has on his backpack and he interacts with a bit. So I'm thinking you get that from Necrum, which if it's the case, then my theory on Bonzag lines and Necrum holds up. As it was foretold, liberated the Mudokons. Yes, I'm pretty sure you get this achievement because it's a gold one if you rescue all of them. Enough said. High stakes. Complete the Sanctum without dying. Now, I'm not sure what the Sanctum is exactly, but I imagine it's kind of like a proving ground of sorts, similar to the last trial in the temples. My guess is that it's likely where Abe gets spider kicked down by ye old bee shaman. Teach a mud to fish. Craft your first recipe. That's right, teach a mud to fish and he can feed himself for a lifetime. This is a very clever trophy name. This is why I like trophies. Some of them can be very clever. I like it. A Brewtiful Relationship. Crafted at least one of every item in the game. Now this is a fairly simple achievement to get, so I can't imagine how many recipes there will be and whether or not you have to find them or you just learn them as you progress through the game through upgrades or something like that, but I can't imagine there'll be too many of them. Brewtal. Playing on that brew word again, yeah, nice. Kill a slig after coating it in brew. Right, because they're flammable, so you can basically Molotov with extra steps. You douse them with brew, which is the equivalent of oil, and then you get a matchstick and, well, let the fun begin, eh? The light, it burns! Scared off at least 500 Sleechers. These must be the evolved form of the Fleechers, probably those scary things that we see in the Necrum caves. Scavenger, looted 250 lootables. I imagine we'll get that one fairly quickly, though I guess it also depends on what kind of playthrough. If you're going for a chi related playthrough and you're just going around killing everybody, then you might not pop it. Abe the Healer. Pretty self-explanatory. Discover, craft and use the antidote on 15 different sick Mudokons. Now this is very, very important, because originally in Abe's Exodus, Abe is granted a magical power to heal Mudokons. Now it seems there's an antidote that Abe discovers and can create. So I don't know what his chest tattoo is going to do for him. Perhaps it's a more passive variant of Shrikal, is what I'm guessing. But I'm also thinking that Flagon's eye is going to play into it a little bit as well. I imagine he will draw the antidote from the eye and some other ingredients as well. What a slog. Outrun a slog for at least 15 seconds. I imagine there's going to be a very specific point in which you can do this, but there might be a couple cases. Sekto Springs favorite recycler. Recycle 100 bottles. Now, at first glance, this might not seem like an important trophy, but Sekto Springs. But this is a name and notable place in Stranger's Wrath. This is the very first time that we ever hear of this. So it's interesting to me why it's being mentioned in Soulstorm. Perhaps the story's been rewritten that Abe goes to Sekto Springs? I mean, after all, from Fico Depot, Abe can go to 5 different locations. Whereas before it was 2, then Soulstorm. So there's at least an additional 2 places Abe can go to, if you don't count Slig Barracks, in which case 3. Because I imagine you'll go through Slig Barracks in order to get to Fico. So who knows, perhaps this is just a reference, or it's a hint to an actual location that we go to later on. Which is pretty exciting, because who knows, maybe we'll get like some Stranger Easter eggs, references. He might even pop up. I doubt it, but that'd be pretty cool. Trigger Finger. Kill 100 Sligs while possessed. That's pretty self-explanatory, and I imagine you'll get that one fairly quickly if you're doing a bad Kwama playthrough. Chi Master. Possessed at least one of every type of Slig in the game. Again, pretty self-explanatory, I imagine everyone will get that. Now you're thinking with bird portals. Rescue 100 Mudokons through bird portals. This trophy here, I love, especially because of the name. It's a play on the game Portal, in which there's a trophy and a catchphrase, I think, like a slogan, where it says, now you're thinking with portals. Pretty good. It's a knockout. Knockout 106 via depossession. So, originally when you depossessed a creature, Abe would explode them. They would burst open, like shred themselves apart. It's pretty brutal. Now I'm pretty sure you can toggle how you do it. You can either rip them apart or you just knock them out. Which is nice, it's cool that you have that option. Abe isn't just some homicidal maniac anymore. Big spender. Cashed in 500 Moolah at Moolah Gates. I imagine the Moolah Gates are pretty much the equivalents of Spruce Gates. Instead of using magical LSD mushrooms, you're now just using paper. Heartless. End a level with negative Kwama. Bloodless. End a level with positive Kwama. Soulless. Achieve negative Kwama in 5 levels. Soulful. Achieve positive Kwama in 5 levels. Now, this set of achievements is very curious to me, because you get a gold ranked achievement for completing 5 levels with positive Kwama. To me, 5 levels doesn't seem like a lot, but it's all relative. I have no idea how many levels there are going to be. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be at least 20 or so. I remember there being an interview a couple years back saying there was going to be about 20-ish. I could be wrong on that, but those could also be filler levels where you don't really get Kwama. It could just be you getting from point A to point B. You don't actually rescue anyone in the process. You're not on fire. Escape Monzak lines without taking any damage. Again, this proves the theory that Monzak lines gets burnt to the ground. Likely due to Mudokon's stupidity. Saving that Moolah. Beat Eye of the Storm without using a vendor in that level. Now, I feel like they could have done something to do with Stranger again, a reference to that game, like saving up for Doc. Perhaps they could have called it that, because in Stranger's Wrath you have to save up 20,000 Moolah to get surgery for an unknown problem, so hey. But still, saving that Moolah, pretty cool trophy. It's going to be very interesting. I imagine there's going to be a lot of fighting, and you're going to want to be very, very resourceful. Literally. Friend of the Mudokons, Part 1. Rescued enough Mudokons for good Kwama in reunion at Old Trellis. So I imagine at the very end of the game you head back there, and then at that point, that is where you lock in what kind of ending you're going to get. Friend of the Mudokons, Part 2. Rescued enough Mudokons for good Kwama in the escape level. So at this point, I'm assuming there are 4 ways that this game could go. There are a bunch of different endings. There is a good bad ending for the first part of the ending of the game, and there's a good and bad ending for the final part of the game. That is going to be pretty epic. I'm very intrigued by who this friend is. Is it us, the gamer? Is it Wildem and other sligs? Is it Mullock turned good? Honestly, there are so many theories here that would really just be spiraling down a rabbit hole, so best not to venture too far. Too pure for this world. Beat the game without killing more than 100 sligs. Hardest Mudokon in the West. Complete every level without Abe dying. Now this is a very important achievement because if you watched my last video a couple days ago when I went over some of the new mechanics in depth, I talked about badges, and I actually asked Alex from Oddworld Inhabitants if there was going to be badges that you could unlock at the end of each level, one of them being a deathless badge, so don't die at all during that level. And he said that they hadn't really talked about it all that much, and then I saw this and there is an achievement for it. So whilst there might not necessarily be a badge in the game for each level, there is definitely an achievement. I for one am super excited about this, though I've spoken to a couple in the Discord and some of them think that that's absolutely insane, but I'm totally for it. Gameplay Master, Bronze, achieved a quarter of the different badges across the whole game. Gameplay Master Silver, achieved half the different badges across the whole game. Gameplay Master Gold, achieved 3/4 of the different badges across the whole game. Gameplay Master Platinum, achieved every badge in the game. And there you have it, there are all the achievements. So some of them are pretty generic, some of them are very important and are a tad spoilerish. So again, I did warn you, if you are upset about spoilers, that's on you, buddy. Not me. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So close to Soulstorm dropping. I'm so pumped. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video that I do. Until then, have a good day, have a good night. Bye bye.